Every day, I still think of Vietnam. Something about it triggers it.
In Vietnam, it was something totally new to us. It was a guerrilla war. There was no front line. There was activity everywhere in Vietnam.
There's totally months of boredom, punctuated by moments of stark raving fear.
I think inside I was scared all the time. Every time we went out on a patrol, or we went out on a night ambush, or we just went into a village to help people with medical care. I think you always had it in the back of your mind that anything can happen at any time.
Your whole senses change. I mean, your hearing was so keen, your eyesight was so keen, your smell was so keen. Just all your senses, you could tell, almost felt that you knew when something was going to happen.
And so, it was like, wow, what did we get ourselves into? How do we get out of this? So what's going on? What's going to happen? And so I basically was in a fog the whole time.
We as pilots are more inclined to think and say, it always happens to the other guy, not me. But I, of course, found out that day I was the other guy.
My unit lived in the jungle. We stayed out 3-4 months at a time. At night, we were always in the jungle. And me, I thought I was kind of like an animal at night. You have to act like one to survive.
Whether you agree with why they were there, they did their job. America called, they stepped up to the plate and did their duty. And that's what separates us from every other country. We have our freedom because of these veterans. My name is Larry Sauger, and I was stationed with the 9th Infantry Division of the 9th Signal Battalion at Camp Bearcat in Vietnam. I was the youngest of 9 children and 6 boys, and all of my brothers were in the military, served their country. The draft notice came and I went. I didn't argue with anybody. It was my time to go and serve my country, and I was proud to do it.
My name is Eric Jackson. I served with the 537th Engineer Corps in Vietnam. I was a topographical survey. If you want to define that, they call it first order survey. We did the survey work that they use for construction work to build the road so they know the right elevation and latitude and longitude, and also do the artillery fire.
My name is David Breivik. I served with the 2nd of the 47th Mechanized Infantry, 9th Infantry Division, from 1969 to 1970. As a 19-year-old young man, I thought I knew it all, and I was kind of invincible, and I could handle the experience. It was more than I had bargained for. It really was. We were ambushed. My track was blown up. Took some shrapnel. Got thrown up against the 50 gun that I was riding behind, and didn't last probably 10 minutes, but it was, my heart still races every time I think about it.
My name is Brian Bobeck. I served from 1966 to 1968 in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. We were convoying one time, and I had a truck breakdown, and we knew we were in a red sector where there had been a lot of Viet Cong activity, and so we had to set up a perimeter guard around the truck that was down until we got it repaired, and we did come under fire. It's not like you see in the movies. It's a terrifying experience, to say the least. You look for the biggest, deepest hole you can get into the ground, so you're hopefully not going to get shot.
My name is Woody Horn. I've served in A Company, 4th Battalion, 23rd Infantry, 25th Infantry Division in Vietnam. We were on a search and destroy mission. We came across a large group of North Vietnamese regulars. They had us outnumbered probably about 10 to 1. They called in the helicopters to get us out of there. 10 choppers came in. They picked us up. 7 of them were shot down, and we all crashed in different spots, and we were pinned down for 18 hours.
My name is John Colon. I served with the 3rd of the 506 101st Airborne Division. And I'll never forget, I got my draft notice on June 6th of 66, and I went in the Army 11 days later. I always remembered it that I was point, and probably 100 yards out of the cemetery, I could see a bunch of Viet Cong in front of us in a wooded area. We immediately started receiving heavy fire. I was, moments later, I was wounded, and there was 24 and 17 were either killed or wounded that day. I myself was wounded 5 times in a 45-minute period. They pronounced me dead, and they had put me in a body bag. I was toe tagged, all the paperwork was filled out, everything. And I guess I was on a pile of 6, 7 bodies, they said, and I rolled off the pile.
My name is Lawrence D. Bakke. I was in the Air Force. I was a crew chief at Tan Son Nhut from 1967 through 1968. The night of Tet, which is the Lunar New Year, Vietnam, it unfolded with heavy rocket attacks. And then they started to storm the gate. They were coming up out of the ground everywhere. They were just all over the place. I think everybody was scared. Either you were scared or you were dead, one or the other.
My name is Frank Lampe. I served with Company A of the 158th Assault Helicopter Battalion, 101st Airborne Division in Northern I Corps, Vietnam.